What is up, everybody? Welcome to Party on Broad. Today, we are breaking down the Sixers and the Eagles. Eagles coming off a bye week, getting ready for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Sixers flying high, 8-1. My goodness. Joining me, my man Rob at Philly_madness. What's going on, Rob?
We have two. Well, technically, I guess there's three teams in action, but we got two teams at 8-1. Sitting at the top of their respective leagues right now in the city. And I don't know. I think all of us were excited about, we didn't know what to expect from the Sixers. I don't know any of us had 8-1 on the bingo card. I just don't know if we had that. And with it being 8 straight wins since their opening night loss. Exciting times, man. Lots to talk about. Excited to be here to talk about it.
Also joining us, he is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's good, Ryan?
Not much, man. Just to add on to what Rob said, it's a good time, man. I think we're all a little shocked here at the Sixers. They're fun. They're a fun, great watch. I mean, what Maxey did last night. I mean, the fact of the matter is they literally lost their first game, as Rob said, by what? A mere couple of points there. You know, possession here, possession there. There could be 9-0. You know, that's how close they are. So it's fun, man. It's fun being a Philly fan right now. And listen, the Flyers are even slightly better than we all thought too. So there you go.
Yeah, long season, but
Sure.
we're talking top takeaways from the Sixers week in basketball. Let's jump right in. Rob, lead us off, man. What was your biggest takeaway from the Sixers this past week?
That it was an addition by subtraction, I think, even more than any of us thought. Look, you knew that it was just an ugly situation with James Harden. And you'd hope that if he was gone, that Maxey could get unleashed a little bit. And I think with Harden gone and because of a guy like Nick Nurse and his system, Maxey is flourishing right now. And I know it's early, but I just don't see I just don't see that many opportunities where it's going to like really fall off a cliff with him. I mean, he looks so confident. The offense just looks great, and I think that's what it is. It was addition by subtraction. I never even thought, that the pieces that came back were actually going to make a difference. But I mean, look, Batum has been really solid for them. Now it looks like he's going to miss another game of personal reasons. I hope everything's okay because now it's the second time he's away for personal reasons. So you're not sure what's going on there. So I hope everything's all right with him and his family. I don't have to hate Robert Covington in his new role, which is nice. I don't have to actually hate the guy because he's not playing 30 minutes a game. He comes in, he does what he's expected, but as you can all tell, he is still very limited offensively. Nothing has really changed on that level.
Yeah.
And they're just fun, man. And I mean, it was so disheartening Saturday night to hear about the freak accident of Kelly Oubre because that was just such a big storyline with everything. And it's like, someone posted, it's like only the Sixers, right? Like Zaire Smith with a poppy seed allergy. Yeah. Markelle Fultz creates the first ever shoulder injury of that type, it felt like. And then Kelly Oubre gets, hit by a car in a hit and run. And, hopefully he'll be okay. It sounds like he dodged the worst, but just fun, man. I mean, I was at the game against Phoenix, and it's just enjoyable watching this team. They enjoy playing together.
Yeah, that's been the takeaway. Like we've said that so many times on like post games. Like if you're not bought in, like I don't know what else the Sixers need to prove to you that like you should be watching. It's been a very fun brand of basketball, and I'll get into why. Ryan, what's your biggest take?
Yeah, listen, it is fun. I think when we came into the season, we were kind of expecting the worst. I mean, we had our shots and we just kept missing it. We kept getting, bounced in the second round. And, we knew the Harden thing was going to blow up at some point. But, once he got traded, I think, we all just kind of maybe got a sigh of relief or something. But I don't think we ever expected it to be this great. I mean, Harden is struggling in Los Angeles. They're 0-4 since he's been there. And obviously the Sixers are doing what they're doing. Maxey is a superstar. I mean, this kid is absolutely growing up, but right before our eyes. And him and Embiid are just playing fun basketball, and they're just beating off each other. And it's really, really great to watch. But this team has depth now in a lot of spots that they really hadn't had before. I really do. I like Batum again. Hopefully things are going to be okay. And and Oubre was fantastic, but before this freak accident. By the way, have we found out who hit Oubre, and have we strung him up by one of the poles in Philly yet? That's what I want.
Not that you want to make not that you want to make light of a situation like this, but there were a couple of really good pictures that kind of surfaced. I think one was really? Jason Tatum. I had one guy send me a picture of Doc Rivers behind the wheel of a car. I mean, there were quite a few. It's like you don't want to make light of it, but there were quite a few. But all I know is if there ever gets to be like traffic cam footage of this car, this dude is done in this city because the city fell in love with Oubre so quickly. It's not going to be long before we find him.
Yeah, if there's anything we know, Philly fans will crack down and use the algorithm and find out who was in that car for sure. And I'm just saying, I'm just going to throw it out there. James Harden's been known to fly to a city or two for a night here or there.
Yeah, we have to know a cop that's a Sixers fan, right? That can leak this footage, right? I mean, come on, some cop out there has got to have it. Come on, man. Do what's right for the community.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway. Oh, we have little G Griffith in the house saying, "Great team and go Eagles." We'll get to the Eagles very, very soon and the Kansas City Chiefs. But for me, it's got to be Tyrese Maxey. I mean, you're looking at the number 2 scoring duo in the NBA right now behind Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. That's nuts. That's freaking nuts. So for me, it's all about Nick Nurse unlocking Tyrese Maxey. You look at this guy and his improvements as a playmaker. I mean, 7.2 assists per game, 11th in the league. He's top 5 in assist to turnover ratio. He's scoring the basketball. You look at this guy, he's only got 1.1 turnovers per game. Of the top 10 players in the list where Maxey is listed, no one has fewer than his turnovers per game other than Chris Paul. Like, that's insane. I just can't believe his marked improvements every single year. His climb, his improvements, we're seeing it. And what we are seeing is his just dominance on handoffs. The gravity that Maxey and Embiid have in the pick and roll, it's left wide open shots on the perimeter. Defenses have basically zero shot to slow that down. We're seeing Maxey play at different speeds, find open guys on the perimeter. For me, it's Tyrese Maxey and what Nick Nurse has done to unlock this guy. And it's been truly incredible. So that's my take. This is all about Tyrese Maxey. Yep. Okay. Let's roll on to our next topic. The Sixers are 8-1 because fill in the blank. I'll start with you, Ryan.
I mean, it's got to be Nick Nurse. I mean, has to start at the top. I mean, he is put together this system for this team that seems to just be fun. It seems to work. They all are buying in. They're pushing the ball a lot more. And like you said, he seemed to have unlocked this next level for Tyrese Maxey, and him and Embiid are just such a great combo right now. So it has to be Nick Nurse. I think we were all just tired of Doc and his stubborn ways and all of that. I think Nick Nurse has come in and brought some fresh air into this team, and like I said, had unlocked Tyrese Maxey to where he's just flying around. He's able to be out there, starter, just improving on a nightly basis. I mean, we obviously saw it last night, scoring 50 points. I mean, good Lord, that was a show. So it's Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse for Ryan. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the one that I think we all want to go with. I'll take it a step further, and I will say Nick Nurse allowing Tobias Harris to be Tobias Harris, because what you've done here is you've created a team that has three guys who could put up 20 a night at least. I know that Tobias hasn't had the 20-point games the last couple, but I look, we've watched Tobias very closely for quite a few years now. I don't know if I've seen a more confident Tobias Harris than what I've seen through the first 9 games of this year. From when he dribbles the ball, I'm not going, oh shit, the whole time, to him stepping in and just knocking down threes without even a question. And that, listen, it's funny because, as you guys know, I go to like 10 to 11 games a year. And I go with my dad and the guy that we own have the tickets with. We all talk about it. And my dad and him were all big on Tobias needs the ball early in the shot clock. And with James and Joel, you just can't do it. And Nick Nurse has kind of come in and, yeah, James is gone. But he said, no, you know what? We can get the ball in Tobias's hands. We can make this happen. And damn it, we're going to. Because the fact is when, Joel's off the court or Maxey's not shooting well, you need Tobias to be the guy to hit those shots. And that's what's happened so far. So I think it was Nick's ability not only to open Tyrese, we all talked about, but I think this Tobias thing is a major, major factor to why this team's 8-1.
Yeah, that his just comfortability in a transition offense has been a huge surprise for me. I did not expect him to look so good. I think it's helped his decisiveness. There were some ugly moments last night, I think, with Tobias dribbling the basketball too much. This is an offense that's still figuring itself out. I think that's a positive too. Like I think moving forward, this offense has a lot of potential. I got 5 things because there's so much as to why the Sixers are doing what they're doing. Number one, just what I said, the motion offense, the Nick Nurse factor. I mean, as I've said, Tyrese Maxey in a handoff game has been a revelation. He's got 0.3 points per game less than Steph Curry, which is number 2 in the NBA. So, I know how we've been trying to find, player comps and things like that for Maxey. I mean, you saw some of those three-pointers. He's shooting it from long range. I'm not saying he's Steph Curry, but he's looking a lot like Steph Curry at times. Number 2, they're getting the ball to Embiid in better spots more consistently. The Sixers score the 3rd most points in the paint per game, and Embiid's numbers are way up inside the paint. That is huge. He's getting the ball from the elbow to the rim versus the perimeter. Love seeing that. Number 3, the effort and the hustle. The Sixers are tied for 2nd best in the NBA in loose balls recovered on offense, and they have the 7th best offensive rebound percentage in the league. When's the last time we said that? The Sixers had 23 offensive boards in last night's win over the Pacers. They're rebounding the better. Nick Nurse is having him Embiid rebound better. It's been amazing. And then team defense is my number 4. The Sixers are tied for number 1 in deflections per game with the Milwaukee Bucks. And my last one, this is a huge one. They're winning the non-Joel Embiid minutes on the basketball court. And the Sixers actually have a higher net rating with Maxey on the court and Embiid off than both stars on the court together. To me, that screams the Maxey-Paul Reed pick and roll is going really well. That's incredible that they're actually playing better with Embiid off the court and Maxey on it. That's nuts.
The other thing is the bench is not scoring at all. And I haven't once watched a game and been like, God, this bench is terrible, like I have in the past. Obviously, we need to see more scoring coming from the bench at some point here. And I think when they make these corresponding moves, whether it's to get a starter and push somebody to the bench or whatever it may be, that'll change, I'm sure. But that's been the funny thing. And I think it's because when the bench comes in, the defense has been so much better from our bench than what we've seen the past couple of years. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like I was looking at the box. I didn't get the chance to watch the game, but I was like watching on the ESPN live track, and I'm looking at the box score. And at one point in like the early parts of fourth quarter, I think they had like 6 bench points. I'm like, how are they winning? At that point, they were up by like 15. I was like, how are they up 15? The bench hasn't scored at all. But it's pretty special that I love this bench, and they're not even scoring yet.
It's the length. They finally have athleticism. They have guys that can defend multiple positions. Nick Batum, I know he started last game, but like his passing, he's everything that we thought PJ Tucker would be in this system. And it's been amazing. I mean, even Roko's giving you great defensive possessions at times. He had 4 steals in like 14 minutes last night. Like, it's been all really, really good. Any final thoughts on the Sixers before we pass it on to the Philadelphia Eagles?
The only thing I'll say is I'm curious now with this Oubre injury and how long he's going to be out. Are they quicker to make – it may not be the big move, but are they quicker to make a smaller corresponding move to fill that roster spot? Because, for what it's worth, he was averaging, 17 points a game, 18 points a game. I mean, you're going to have to find that somewhere, and maybe it is on the roster, and I hope it is. But, like, if you have that and then you have whatever Nick Batum's going through, you've got to be able to find that. So I'm curious how quick Daryl Morey, like, even if it's just a smaller move, it's not the big one at this point, does he do something to try and solidify that bench spot?
I don't think they should. I think they should literally just pump the brakes. And if there's anything we learned, this team is gelling. The team chemistry, the effort, the hustle, the system is still in kind of doing baby steps out there on the court. I think if there's anything we've learned about the Philadelphia 76ers, they're in no rush, and they should be in no rush. Let this thing play out. Let the cards fall as they may, and see what happens with other teams. They finally just got assets. They finally just got first-round picks. Let's see what the kind of picture looks like in 2 months. I think they should just kind of wait and see.
Yeah, agreed. No, definitely don't ruin it. Again, the loss of both these guys are certainly going to be felt, but again, we don't know how long both of them are going to be out. They haven't given a timetable that I've seen anyway on Kelly Oubre. I think just a good sign is that he was already released from the hospital that quickly. And yeah, we obviously probably will never know what Batum's going through. But yeah, I'd certainly wait to kind of see how long these guys are going to be out. And yeah, I'm not willing to trade anything significant to bring in anybody. Obviously, I think if you're going to do something, wait till the assets mature and later in the season when you can go out and get that guy to hopefully take you over the hump if it's needed at that time. I mean, if they're still rolling like this, I mean, good Lord, don't touch a thing.
And just circling back to like Kelly Oubre, the narrative on him, I don't know, man, because all I heard, because I didn't watch a lot of Charlotte Hornets games, all I heard was this guy was a black hole in offense. If he wasn't, giving you 20 points a night, he didn't give you much else. Every time he drove to the basket, he would never find teammates, although that's kind of true still. Even his shot for the Sixers, when it hasn't been falling, he's still giving, Joel Embiid a huge target when he cuts to the basket. He's still playing very good team defense. I've been overly impressed. Like, he seems to have found a home in Philadelphia. And he's one of those guys that I would extend. I know Morey's saving, everything for this offseason, but he is an amazing fit. And has been, I think, pound for pound, one of the best free agency signings across the NBA. That's how good he's been. Yeah. All right, let's roll on to the Philadelphia Eagles. We are going to talk storylines to watch between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Rob, what are you watching?
There's only one storyline we're watching. Who is Taylor Swift rooting for in this game is the only storyline because, damn it, we all know She sat at every concert she's ever done and sang about being an Eagles fan and how they're her squad.
Oh my
now
God.
her man's in them is over on the Chiefs. All right. I want to know, does Donna Kelsey get her a double jersey just like hers? That's what I don't care. It's the only storyline I care. No, I'm just kidding. But damn it, if that storyline didn't just take another buzz this week with Travis going over to Argentina and all that stuff. So you might as well just prepare yourself for Monday night to watch Taylor Swift and Donna Kelsey and the whole thing. They're going to be on the screen 57 times. It's just going to happen.
On the first quarter.
My daughter just heard me mention Taylor Swift's name, and her eyes just got so bright. So I'm telling you, it's going to be now. To me, it's going to be the storyline. I know a lot of people are going to want to say revenge. Now, this isn't about the Super Bowl anymore. Okay, you're 8-1. The Chiefs are 7-2. You're in a hostile environment on a Monday night. You're both coming off a bye. No one really has the advantage there. What I need to see is, has the Eagles offense got to a point where they can put up the points against a really good defense as Kansas City's had all year? That's the storyline. That's the matchup. It comes down because, look, we know what the Eagles defense is. Okay? We know what they are. They're going to give up some points. They're going to give up some plays. We know that the Chiefs have a pretty damn good offense at times. Now, they've struggled offensively like the Eagles have this year. But for me, it's where are the Eagles coming off this bye on offense, and are they ready to put the pedal to the floor here and just start kicking ass like they can with the talent they have on that offense?
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback off of that because that's exactly what I've had in my notes here. For me, it's Jalen Hurts being more involved in the run game and the return of Cam Jurgens, because the Kansas City Chiefs, we want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, but their defense is really good. It is very good. They're widely regarded as like a top 5, top 10 defense. They're third best in overall DVOA. They're third best in pass defense DVOA. But the thing I'm looking at is they're actually 20th best in rush defense DVOA. We saw a couple of weeks ago the Dolphins, Rasheem, is it Mostert? Okay. But he had 12 carries, 85 yards, a touchdown, 7.1 yards per carry. This could be somewhat of an opportunity for the Eagles offense to really get back to really dominating, not with like a dominant run game, but getting back to being an efficient run game. Because I still think the Eagles are going to pass the ball. They want to be a passing offense. But, you look at this Eagles offense over the last several weeks, they are averaging 3.4 yards per carry since week 4. That is 30th in the NFL. You look at DeAndre Swift since that point, 3.4 yards per carry, 57th among 71 players with 25-plus carries. So the storyline I'm watching, just kind of like underneath that is the return of Cam Jurgens. He has returned to practice. He's ready to go. We all know the stats. In the 4 games Jurgens started, the Eagles were second in the NFL in rushing yards per game and third in yards per carry. So Jalen Hurts getting more involved with the run game. Cam Jurgens getting back there, getting this offensive line back to dominating in the trenches and, holding on to the ball, holding on to that, getting those third and manageables, getting those third and shorts. And, that's I think that's a huge key, especially in the second half. Look at last year when the Eagles really just sat on the ball and ran in the second halves. They haven't done that this year because of the injuries and rotating running backs and things like that. So for me, I'm looking at the return of Cam Jurgens. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, that's an absolute great point. And I think just to slightly piggyback, this Eagles offense, as we've seen it, has been a little up and down the last, 4-ish weeks, actually, really the whole season. But and they're still putting up 25, 30 points a game. And they haven't really run the ball well. And now you're getting extra rest for Jalen Hurts, who even if he's not at 100%, the threat of him being able to run, it does so much more for that offense. And Cam Jurgens coming back, and DeAndre Swift running behind Jurgens, and the stats, I mean, just absolutely jump off the page. The difference when he's in there and when he's not. So I think the two of those things for the run game is going to be absolutely just monstrous. And when we can have a balanced attack, and again, I know they love passing the ball, but a little bit more even, that's when this offense is deadly. But the main storyline that I am actually going to be looking at is, will the pass rush be able to get to Patrick Mahomes? That is obviously a huge thing from the Super Bowl. Obviously, we have our 1,000,001 reasons why that didn't end up happening, but I think it's a sense of pride thing for those on that defensive line. Reddick, I know, have said certain things in interviews, and Graham and Cox and the like, but I think they're going to be really hungry to get after Mahomes. I mean, not only is he one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but they didn't touch him last time they played, and that means something to them, and they want to absolutely get after him.
The sod father isn't putting the field down at Arrowhead, is he?
No, he better not be. I'll drive out there. I'll drive out there myself.
I like old people. I like senior citizens, but I will go out there and tie him to a chair for the rest of the week if I have to.
No, I was gonna bring that up, and you stole it, man.
Yeah, no, I like I said, this defense needs to be better. Obviously, the defensive backs kind of get all of the brunt of everything, and rightfully so. They haven't been playing well, and they need a little bit more cohesion with Byard being here and Reed Blankenship being healthy, and again, the four of them plus whoever's out there kind of playing that nickel and whatnot need to really just figure each other out. I feel like it's almost not necessarily a communication thing, but just trusting each other. Just seems like there's a lot of plays that got broken down because they thought they had something, they didn't think they had something, stuff like that. But this defense overall needs to be better, but it starts with this pass rush. We can get to Patrick Mahomes, get in his face, get some pressures. He's never seen Jalen Carter, and he's about to see that big boy right in his face all game long. So that will make the defensive backfield play much better when they have no time. Mahomes has no time to throw. So
I think that honorable mention storyline you kind of mentioned it is Bradley Roby coming back. I mean, listen, out of all the guys that have played in that position this year, I mean, it's not saying much, but he's had probably the most success out of most of the guys there. I would have really loved to have seen him in the slot against Dallas because poor Eli Ricks, I love the kid, but obviously just overmatched with a guy like CeeDee Lamb. Bradley Roby is a veteran. He knows how to play the position. It maybe allows James Bradbury to just focus on being an outside corner again, and maybe he gets back in the play that we hope to get from him. So I think getting Bradley Roby back could be another big spot for this defense.
That's a great one, Rob. Excellent stuff.
Definitely.
That's been the Achilles heel for the Eagles for sure. And then we get to our last question of the evening. Oh, first of all, Quentin says Taylor Swift, his presence ensures more people will see the Eagles beat down the Chiefs, man. I hate how Taylor Swift is just everywhere. Broke box office stuff with her movie. Now there's rumors that she's gonna be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and she's gonna play a character. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, I think as Eagles fans, we're already sick and tired of her. By midnight on Monday, we're going to be burning Swiftie albums at the end of the game. So
you have no idea. I'm seeing smoke come out of my daughter's ears hearing you discuss Taylor Swift in such a heinous way.
She's the worst.
Listen, I got to tell you, I don't like the way the NFL does it. And if you listen to the Kelsey podcast, they've kind of talked about it. Travis has. You can tell, as much of a fun guy as he is, it's more than what he's. It doesn't mean he's not going to, it doesn't mean he's going to stop seeing her or anything like that. But, I'm sure he's probably like, dude, just give her some space when she's at the game. Like she's up there hanging I'm a big Travis Kelsey guy. I love the guy. I think he's hysterical. But yeah, it's getting overdone. And honestly, I kind of feel for the two of them at this point because I'm sure it's probably a lot for them at this point. But Monday Night Football, rematch of the Super Bowl.
Yep.
She's a Philly girl, like she's
Yep.
from this area. It's going to be,
Yeah.
if you thought it was bad that first Sunday night in New York, this has the makings of being just a saga like you wouldn't believe on Monday.
Well, I mean, think about it. There's so many non-football storylines here. I mean, the rematch, the brothers, Mama Kelsey, the Swift thing, like all of these things are just not football, and I don't care about it anymore. We've beaten it to death. Let's just play some freaking football. Let's best in the AFC, best in the NFC. Let's see who's better. That's what I care about.
What we all know, the NFL is loving it. They are loving it.
Oh, they're raking it in.
Brand new demographic, getting brand new eyes to their sport.
Yep.
Do you know how mad they are that they already announced the Super Bowl halftime show? Do you know how angry they are that they didn't pick Taylor Swift right now? Like, could you imagine if, say it was the Chiefs and the Eagles again, and Taylor Swift was a halftime show? Are you kidding me?
It would be a billion people would watch that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It'd be incredible.
Tech Quentin says she needs to dump Travis right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what Philly fans would do.
Yeah.
A true Philly fan would do that stuff.
Let's get into our top 3 bold predictions for the remainder of the Eagles season. I'll go first. Number 3, Kevin Byard is going to lead the Eagles defense in takeaways. You look at the takeaways here so far, there's not a lot. You have Reed Blankenship with 2 picks. Darius Slay has 2 picks. That's it. You get forced fumbles. Josh Sweat and Jalen Carter have a couple. I am saying Kevin Byard with the bye week is going to figure some things out, and he's going to get at least a few picks here to end the season in a big, big way. My number 2, I'm going to go Cam Jurgens becomes a top 3 MVP on this offense by season's end. So I think when we look back, he's going to be a huge cog to this offense. And my number 1, Jalen Carter does not win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jalen Carter wins Defensive Player of the Year. That's how good he is. This guy, through 8 games, 16 tackles, 5 sacks, 29 total pressures. First among defensive tackles with a 22% pass rush win rate. Ranks 5th among all defensive tackles and sacks. He is, I believe, 2nd on the team in pressures. And the crazy part about all of those numbers, he's only played 251 snaps. That's half the amount of Aaron Donald snaps. So he's doing it, and I'm excited to see what his snap count looks like with the Eagles moving forward with some, because he's been fresh all season. Let's see what he's got here in this like crucial stretch of 4 games. I think so. It's Chiefs, Cowboys, Niners, and Bills, right? And yeah, that's where I'm going to go for my top 3. What about you, Rob? What's your top 3 bold prediction?
Number 3, Britton Covey returns a punt for 6 this year.
Cool.
Listen, the guy has massively improved. I think we come down on the special teams a lot, but I think Britton Covey continues to do well, and I think he busts one. I do think he gets one. At the second half of the year. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys game in a month, whatever it is, matters very little to the Eagles' NFC East division because I believe the Eagles will win 2 of the next 3 games, and I believe basically all they're going to have to do is win 1 of their final 4. It's not going to matter. So I don't think everyone's going to get real hyped for this Dallas game, and I think it's going to be one of those games that it matters way more to Dallas from a standings scenario than it does to Philadelphia Eagles because I believe the Eagles will take care of business in 2 of the next 3. And if you want to take the Cowboys and the Seattle game, they go. I think they go 4 out of 5. I have this feeling that we've all sat here and talked about this juggernaut, and it is. But it's like every time they win a game, the national pundits want to push the juggernaut back. First was Miami, and they're like, well, it was a Sunday night game in Philly. And then they played the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, but if Dallas has this play go that way, they win. It just keeps getting pushed back.
Yep.
And I think the Eagles are the type of team with Sirianni. They take the bulletin board material, and I don't know what happens this week. I do have my doubts for this week. But when you're talking about Buffalo at home, who's losing 9-8 at halftime right now to the Denver Broncos, and they're home, by the way. When you talk about the San Francisco 49ers and all the nonsense they've talked, I like the Eagles' chances of both of them. And number one for me, Devontae Smith outperforms A.J. Brown for the rest of the season.
Wow.
I think defenses are going to start to try and go over to A.J. Brown. They're going to start trying to take him out. And I think Devontae Smith is going to be the guy because we have that rare situation that we've never had here where our quarterback trusts his number 2 wide receiver as much as he trusts his number 1 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think Devontae Smith has a big second half of the year here.
All right. What about you, Ryan?
All right. Number 3, Albert O becomes the number 3 pass catcher in this offense while in for Dallas Goedert.
Nice.
Listen, Hurts loves himself a good tight end. And, listen, Julio Jones, great story, but let's be honest. There's people out there like, well, obviously it makes sense. Julio Jones should just be the tight end. No, stop it. He's not a tight end. He's not playing tight end. Anybody who says otherwise, I'm sorry. I don't respect you. It's not smart. Just quit saying it. So, listen, you might throw him a bone in the red zone every once in a while, but, he really wasn't like a red zone guy. He just looks like he should be. Honestly, he wasn't a big TD guy when he was with Atlanta. He really wasn't. Anyway, so that's my number 3. I'm trying to keep all these in order. Number 2, A.J. Brown will eclipse 2,000 yards.
Wow.
I love the Devontae Smith prediction. Because I'm happy with either one of them, but I think AJ is just on such a roll, and just is going to just demand it and just fly through this. And honestly, some of the defensive backfields he's about to go up against are really not that good. So that's number 2. And what was my number 1? Oh man, I'm really blanking on my number 1. Geez. Yes, I remember now. If the Eagles get the number 1 seed, guarantee win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Nobody is coming into Philly and beating us. It's not happening. No one is coming into Philly and beating us. So that means we get back to the Super Bowl. And Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and everybody else who were there last year, I don't care who the hell we're playing. I don't care if we're playing the 2000 all Madden team. It's not happening. We're not losing 2 in a row. We are winning that game. So if we get that number 1 seed and we have home field advantage, we're not losing in that playoffs. We're going to that Super Bowl. We are not losing 2 in a row. Mark it down.
Jalen Hurts in 4 games at home this season. Ready for this? 7 touchdowns, 2 picks, 112.4 rating. He also has 4 rushing touchdowns. And on the road, he has 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 87.8, and 3 rushing touchdowns. So, clearly, way more comfortable.
There's a difference. And you know what? I'll even go a step further. Whoever they're playing, again, I don't care who it is. Give me the Chiefs again, whatever. Let Taylor Swift come out at halftime for all I care. They're going to win the game on a tush push. And then they're going to just flip the bird to the NFL and say.
That would be the final play of the Super Bowl being a tush push for them to then ban it at the end of the year would be the greatest thing of all time.
Right.
That has to happen. It's got to be in the movie.
Would that not be the greatest FU to the NFL? Be like, yeah, ban it now, bro. Ban it now.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So those are our top 3 bold predictions for the Eagles. Final thoughts. We'll do plugs. Lead us off, Ryan.
Yeah, listen. Sixers are fun again. Break out your old Sixers jerseys. Rob's clearly rocking his. Listen, it's fun. Watch this team again. See, that's a fantastic jersey right there. It's a great team again. It's fun. Honestly, the greatest thing has been me watching the games with my son. He's sitting there, we're watching, and maybe I had to go run, do something in the other room. I hear him screaming at the TV and yelling. Like, it's the greatest feeling as a father, just having your kid yelling at the TV, just like, the way I grew up. And yeah, it's just fun. Like, we're having a great time watching this team develop, seeing Maxey develop. It's awesome. And then the Eagles, listen, both teams are 8-1. Eagles it hasn't been pretty. It's not last year. It hasn't been pretty. We've winning ugly. We're winning games that maybe we shouldn't win. But guess what? This is an absolute team. And teams and great teams like the Eagles find ways to win games. And that's what they're doing. They are finding ways to win games. And like I said, this team just has to get through the next couple of games. I kind of am right there with Rob. I don't think it's as bad as people think. I think they maybe lose 2 at most. And then all they got to do is what? They got to play the Giants twice in Arizona? Please. The 3 of us could beat those guys. So I'm not worried about it. Number 1 seed, baby. Let's go. All the way to the Super Bowl. Other than that, find me right here on Twitter. Follow these guys. And, share the love. Give it a like. Give it a follow. And, all that fun stuff.
Kind of like Jalen Hurts. The Sixers have also shown to play at their best, when from behind. Like, they have been resilient multiple times this season already, making adjustments in the second half. Just going to throw that out there. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, look, I think, I was pretty disappointed with the fan reaction after the Eagles win against Dallas because I felt like there was this really negative thing because of the last 8 minutes of that football game. Prior to that, the Eagles dominated the football game. They were the better team. And anybody that says anything different is lying to themselves. Okay? They got a little, a little conservative on the play call. I thought the play calling got a little weak late in the game. They were the better football team. They did something that they haven't done, I feel like, in a while, and that's beat Dak Prescott while he was playing. They won the game. Okay? And that's how they've done it all year. They found different ways to win in different games. What I'm fearing from just our fan base, not the Eagles, is that at the first sign of a loss, it's going to be doom and gloom again. Guys, they're not going to go 16-1 this year. They're just not. This schedule gets really hard. And by the way, if they go 16-1, forget it. There's nobody's touching them. But they're not going to go 16-1. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. And the same thing with the Sixers. And Dibes, I think I've been talking about this with you for years now on here. It's an 82-game season. Every loss is not the end of the season. Every loss does not mean this team sucks. You gotta just enjoy the fact that we're still in this pretty good era of Philadelphia sports right now. And right now the Sixers and Eagles are at the forefront of it. And we should just enjoy it. And, look, if they lose Monday night, they lose Monday night. You're going to be disappointed, but it's not like losing to the Jets. This would not be like losing to the Jets. Okay? Enjoy the moment, everyone. We got 2 really good teams in the city, and I think, bright futures ahead. And then follow me at Philly_Madness right here with these 2 guys on Party on Broad every week.
Yeah, you look at the last 3 games of the season. That's going to be essentially like 3 back-to-back-to-back mini bye weeks. The Giants twice, the Cardinals, and all 2 of those teams are going to be full-blown tanking at that point. So honestly, my final thought, just stay healthy. No major injuries. Just get through it. Like Rob said, if you lose, you lose. But just Lane can't go down. Cam Jurgens can't go back down. Let's just keep this team generally healthy moving forward as they get ready for that final push. Palatero says Howie couldn't sign Barr. JPP Eagles release Vildor cornerback. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I've never heard of this guy on this practice squad. Like, are they making up names? Is this like I feel like this is the Madden like auto name generate. Like, get out of here with this stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
and-
unfortunately, they looked at Anthony Barr, and I think the second that became public, Minnesota Vikings probably called up Barr and was like, "Hey, bud, let's come back."
And
I mean,
they
Barr
offered
would have been a great signing.
And
you
they
know,
offered him a 53-man spot where it looks like the Eagles were probably going to give him a practice squad spot
and
and
then
elevate
move
him.
him up. Yeah,
And Anthony Barr spent a long time in Minnesota. I mean, it's not.
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to beat out. So I mean, they looked. I'm not mad that they looked, but hey, we are what we are right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they also looked at Andrew Norwell. I'm sorry. Long time with Washington and then with Jacksonville. Really good guard, all pro guard. Obviously up there, a little up there in age, but with Suo Peta kind of not really helping us out any. I think it'd be a smart signing if we ended up going that route, but they're just looking for now.
Yep. All right, guys, that wraps up our first edition of Party on Broad here. We're coming right back. Me and Ryan with NFL Draft Weekly. We're going to be breaking down our top 10 cornerback rankings for next year's draft. Some really good names. If you're getting sick and tired of James Bradbury, I promise you we have some good ones to know. Again, give a follow. Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. That is Rob at Philly_Madness. What's up, Rob?
What's the one guy's name? It's just like the coolest name ever. I think
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Who was it?
Kool-Aid McKinstry plays for Alabama.
Yeah. Just draft him. I don't care. I just want a guy named Kool-Aid. I want a guy named Kool-Aid.
I'll take him. I personally like Storm Duck, but that's me.
Ooh,
He's
good one.
not very good.
Good one.
I mean, he's not, but it's a great name though.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will be back in probably just a few minutes. He is Ryan. He is Rob. I am Dibes. We'll catch you next week. Stay awesome, everyone.